So, it's really no secret that video games have been in a very weird place over the last few years, from people working in the industry getting laid off to consoles becoming more expensive through tariffs, inflation, supply chain issues. It's just not really a great time to be a gamer or someone involved in developing the games. And that is true for Ubisoft as well. So let's head over to Insider Gaming and Mike Straw's article about Ubisoft, where he says Ubisoft has reduced its headcount by over 1,000 employees in the last year. Ubisoft has made a concerted effort to optimize the studio, and that has led to hundreds of employees being let go over the last year. In its latest earnings report going over the full 2026 fiscal year, Ubisoft confirmed that it has reduced the number of employees working with the company by over 1,000. The total number of people let go as of March 31st, 2026, Ubisoft says, is around 1,200 people. They added that attrition is close to Ubisoft's lowest recorded levels, particularly among senior profiles. Ubisoft says that despite the employee cutbacks, it still has 16,590 people working for the company. Still, despite cutting costs by roughly 325 must be million euros or 18% compared to fiscal year 2023, more cuts are expected throughout the next fiscal year as they continue to cut costs. Looking ahead, Ubisoft has a clear path to complete the third and final phase of its cost reduction program, targeting a fixed cost base of 1.25 billion euros on a run rate basis by March 2028, supported by continued discipline in recruitment and targeted restructuring. The company said in its report Ubisoft also continues to consider potential asset divestitures. Recently, Ubisoft restructuring and cost cutting efforts included the cancellation of the Animal Crossing inspired game known as Altera and the ending of game development at Red Storm Entertainment. There were also changes made to the direction of Assassin's Creed EX that led to the departure of its game director. What do you think of Ubisoft's continued layoff employees? Leave your thoughts on the annual event in the comments below or join the Discord for Insider Gaming. So, yeah, I mean, look, obviously it's good that attrition is low, but attrition is almost certainly low because everybody who's working for Ubisoft right now is probably like, well, if I leave this job, I don't know if I'm going to get another games industry job. So it's wiser for me to just stay put and weather the storm as much as possible. Will everyone be able to weather the storm? No, probably not, and that's unfortunate. I think that, people hear of the layoffs in the gaming space and, understandably so. They're like, whatever. I mean, who cares? Like, these people are working a dream job. Why would I care if they get laid off? But I do think that anytime there's lots of layoffs in an industry and not many jobs to go around, you end up losing skilled people, people with experience who end up exiting the industry and their expertise can never be used again. So I think it is a net negative for the industry as a whole. And I don't think people should be so flippant about it. But, it is understandable why people would be a little flippant about it due to the pricing of video games these days, which is just getting more expensive. So let's head over to the Mirror, not the, gaming publisher that we're used to on here, but Mateo Smith writes how video gaming has become increasingly expensive in the era of Trump and AI. President Donald Trump has imposed the largest price increase on gamers in history as millions face staggering costs for consoles, RAM, and video games. Gaming is more expensive than ever. Not only have video game enthusiasts seen a rise in the base price of new releases, but consoles are also getting more expensive due to the president's sweeping tariffs on hardware. In March, Sony increased the cost of the PS5 system, citing continued pressures in the global economic landscape due to memory limitations brought on by the AI boom. Sony announced last month that it had not yet decided when to release the PS6 or how much it will cost. The boom in the AI industry has also led to steep price hikes on RAM, making it more difficult for PC gamers to upgrade their hardware. It doesn't stop there. Due to ongoing market conditions, Sony said on Monday that the price of the PlayStation Plus Essential subscription would increase to $11 per month. The price rises come after the PS5 console's recent price increase due to the shortages of AI-fueled parts. Starting on May 20th, PlayStation Plus prices for new customers will increase in select regions due to the ongoing market conditions. Prices will start at $10.99 USD for 1 month subscription and $27.99 for a 3 month subscription. Sony announced on X in a post that it's well on its way to being ratioed. This price change does not apply to current subscribers except in Turkey and India, unless the existing subscription prices changes or lapses. Just days after Sony took a similar action with its PlayStation 5, Microsoft announced price increases for Xbox consoles globally in 2025, claiming market conditions. Additionally, the tech behemoth increased the cost of a few new games created by its video game subsidiaries. The entry-level Xbox Series S increased by 27% to $299.99 to $379.99 in the US. So this is like crazy. So I have an Xbox Series S and I love it. I think it's a great little system. I bought it on like a deal for like $200 years ago. I would have expected this Series S to be like $150 now, not $379. I love it. I don't love it for that price. I don't suggest anyone buys it for that price. And it gets worse with the Series X, as the price of the high-end Series X Galaxy Black model has increased by 22% from $599.99 to $729.99. That's patently absurd. Get a PC at that point. Additionally, some new games from studios owned by Microsoft will cost $79.99 instead of the current $69.99, a 14% increase. Their statement, "We understand that these changes are challenging, and they were made with careful consideration given market conditions and the rising cost of development," the company said on its website at the time. So, yeah, very bad news for the industry as a whole. People getting laid off. And I really do feel like we're at a tipping point where people are just not going to be able to afford these consoles, and they're going to hang on to the hardware that they already have. That's certainly my plan. Hang on to my Series S, hang on to my PlayStation 5 for as long as possible, or they're going to exit the hobby altogether. So, all in all, really bad situation for gaming. I'm nervous. It does make me think of that story about how the video game industry might crash if GTA 6 is a failure. If it isn't a failure, which I don't expect it to be, I think people will save up to buy that game and it will sell millions of copies. But I think that ultimately, if it did fail, everything would just completely collapse because it's becoming untenable for the average consumer. And I get it. It costs money to make these games and consoles, but it's becoming a hobby that with a console was pretty reasonable to get into a hobby that only like people who have a lot of money can be into. So what are your thoughts on the video game industry? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. We have new videos coming out all the time here on the channel. Check out the main channel, Wicked Everything, where we cover video games in the form of video essays and video game reviews. Check out our sports channel, Wicked Sports, where we cover sports news, and our podcasting channel, Better Radio. Again, really appreciate you taking the time to check this one out. If you're watching it on the Wicked Everything channel, please subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,700 subscribers. We're so very close. Really would appreciate you. Not the biggest goal in the world, but certainly our goal nonetheless. And if you're watching it on Those Fake Nerds channel, also please subscribe. Would really appreciate it. Anyways, thank you so much for checking this one out, and I will see you in the next one.